Welcome back to Riff Ram Review here on 88.7 The Choice, your choice for college radio. My name is Ian Napetien. I'm joined alongside Zion Trammell and Seth Dowdle, and we have a very special guest joining us here tonight in the studio. Welcome, Sedona Prince. Thank you so much for joining us. How is your evening tonight?
Going great. Hey, guys. Going really well. Had a few other media day things today, but just excited to talk to you guys and get the season going.
Yeah, well, we're super excited to have you in here. You're our first guest on the show, so that means a lot. And again, thank you so much for being here. We know that as an athlete, you're incredibly busy, so carving out some time for us means a lot. And I know for, speaking on behalf of Zion and Seth, we really appreciate you being here tonight. Just a little bit about yourself. Tell us a little bit about you. Obviously, you're huge into basketball. A lot of people listening know about you, and just tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah. Originally from Austin, went to UT Austin my first year. Ended up transferring to University of Oregon. Stayed there for my undergrad, and then decided to take a leap of faith, get into the WNBA draft, and then all of a sudden, I ended my way up back here in Fort Worth at TCU. So, finishing up my last year here, getting my master's degree for the Horned Frogs. So I'm super pumped.
Yeah, awesome. Well, again, super glad that you're here to join us tonight, and we'll just jump straight in. We've got a lot to go over, a lot to talk about with you. So, just briefly, what about TCU kind of made you come over here, right? You started out in Texas. Like you said, you transferred to Oregon, and now you're a Horned Frog. What kind of brought you here? What about the program drew you here?
Yeah, fun fact. So I only went on 3 unofficial visits throughout my high school recruiting process. One was to Washington, one was to UT Austin, and I ended up actually committing to UT Austin in the 8th grade. But my last one was TCU, and so I've been a fan of the campus. I've loved it here in Fort Worth for so long. But the deciding factor was when Mark Campbell got the job. He was our assistant coach up in Oregon. Amazing man, just a great coach. He just coaches with such like a fairness and just like a kind soul. He's fair. He's honest to the players, and there's really no one like him. And so I was excited to join him for his first year here and kind of get his program started and show the world what I can do in basketball.
Yeah. Now you kind of touched on it there, right? You said that you rescinded your eligibility per se for that WNBA draft, deciding to play for Coach Campbell. For you as a player, what do you like most about him? Obviously you spent a lot of time with him up in Oregon, and you're back here. What is it like as a player under Coach Campbell? What do you kind of expect for him to bring to this program? Yeah,
he just lets everyone play in their own game, right? So I was, kind of put into a box at Oregon, get behind the basket or just make passes and kind of just used in a position that I didn't really feel comfortable in. And Mark just lets me play whatever game I want to play. And so that's shooting threes. He lets me bring the ball up the court, which as a 6'7" center, you don't see a lot of the time. So he just lets us have fun with all the players. He lets us, be comfortable, get into our sets and just have fun and play the game. And so you'll see a lot of smiles this year, which is pretty fun.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. And so you've been here since March. So a lot of people may not know what happens during the off season. What do you go through, and then what have you been up to since you've come to TCU leading up to now?
Yeah, so when I first got here, I was not in the best shape. I was living down in San Diego, just like I was training here and there for the WNBA draft, but I just came off of a pretty big injury. And so coming here, you come in and immediately start training. Very hardcore. So, when I first got here, I couldn't really make it down and back without wanting to throw up. And so it was every day getting extra conditioning, working with the team. We did tons of weights, like 5 days of weights a week. And so that with basketball training, extra stuff, it's just a constant grind to get your body physically there. But then also, get mentally prepared of I'm going to play basketball for a full, very long season. And for me as well, Mark and I had big, long discussions about it that I have never played 35, 40 minutes in a game throughout a season ever in my career. And so getting mentally prepared for that, to be locked in every minute of the game that I'm going to play. So that's something we've been working on with him, watching videos, just getting prepped and trying to make my game as strong and full as possible.
Yeah, and so how do you feel now currently, health-wise and all that?
Oh, man, a full 360. Yeah, I can play, I'm in the best shape of my life, physically, mentally, just emotionally. I'm in such a great place, and that's a testament to our trainers and our team, but also, all the hard work I've been putting in. But yeah, I'm excited. I can dunk again. I'm feeling good. I'm just ready to play.
Yeah.
Y'all went to Costa Rica, I saw.
Yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit about that experience?
Dude, it was fun. It was a blast. We got to play some pro players. We brought down 6 players that we played in 3 different games, and just got to beat up on them. There wasn't a lot of defense. It was almost like an all-star kind of game, which we had to work on. But yeah, it was really fun. Then we got like 4 days of vacation down in Costa Rica, which isn't the worst place to hang out with the team.
No.
So we went horseback riding in the rainforest, saw some monkeys. Dude, it was sick.
Monkeys.
Yeah, a lot of monkeys.
Now, I've never been to Costa Rica, but it seems like an awesome place. Have y'all been there? Mm-mm. Seth, have you been to Costa Rica yet?
No, but I want to see monkeys.
Yeah,
You want to see monkeys?
Yeah.
Me too.
There's
Now-
a zoo that I can always see the ones at the zoo down the street.
I know. Talking about zoos, have you been to the Fort Worth Zoo?
I have not. No, I've wanted to go.
Okay, very nice. Yeah.
It's ranked the #1 zoo by some magazine. It says on the billboard off university
Nice.
that
Fort Worth magazine.
probably.
Something like that, exactly. So, I mean, just curious. I mean, you were talking about the off-season work, right? Coming back from the injury, what is that process like? I mean, going through an injury is really tough, and for you, it was for your right elbow, if I'm not mistaken.
Left elbow,
Oh,
yeah.
left elbow.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What is that kind of like? Whether it's the mental aspect or not being able to shoot around, and I mean, how do you kind of get around that hump?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's a full like physical mental grind, right? So a lot of people just like think about the physical aspect of it, of training and physical therapy and whatever it might take to get your body back in shape for basketball. But the whole mental side of it is that's the key. And so I'm lucky enough to have to have been through a massive leg injury, but to have recovered from that fully and gone through that. It was a 2-year-long process, and so I knew what it took to get back and how difficult it would be. And so with this, I just treated it like I was a pro. Everything I did, from my eating habits to my training to how I, went to sleep, everything was a full, focus on getting my elbow back to better than it was before.
Yeah. Now that you guys are less than a week away from the first game of the season, what does the day-to-day kind of look like in this preseason point, trying to get ready for the games, whether it's you just going around campus, doing something on your own? What does that day-to-day look like for Sedona Prince?
Right. I mean, still lots of training. We got to stay in shape. So, for instance, today we lots of sleep. But we have a practice. We'll go through, we're keeping it light right now. We just want to, stay away from injuries or anything that's unnecessary. But we'll play. We also have a WNBA player right now, Ruthie Hebert, as our GA. And so she's here, the training with me, beating me up in practice, which is super awesome. Get a lot of good reps against her. And then we have weights. For instance, today we had extra conditioning. So just keeping our bodies like at that physical shape and maintaining it that we need for the season. And then come home and sleep. If you're, one of my close friends, you know that I nap a lot, like up to 4 to 6 hours a day, just because, long naps, just to make sure my body is just resting and getting that care that it needs. Because you see these pro players like LeBron James, he gets 12 hours of sleep a night. And that's, there's a difference between college and pro players. And that's the biggest one. And so just resting my body and making sure that I'm ready to go and rested enough for the season.
So you're saying that for people that aspire to be professional sleepers, that the first step to that is become a professional or just become a collegiate athlete.
Yep. That's exactly right.
Gotcha. All right. This is cool.
Yep. I honestly, I think we're all lacking our sleep here, but now kind of transitioning, looking ahead again to your guys' first game against Oral Roberts on November 6th here at the Schulmeyer. What are your expectations, not just for yourself, but also of this team? I mean, there's a lot of new transfers, obviously a new coach. Are there going to be some growing pains in that? What are your kind of expectations early on?
Yeah, I mean, you look at our team, and it's kind of just like a ragtag group of girls and coaching staff. You've coaching staff first year, and a bunch of girls that, Maddie Connor from Arizona, she averaged about 3 minutes playing for that team. Jaden Owens, she had a pretty good career at Baylor, but not what she expected and not what she could have done. My career was, in my opinion, pretty mediocre at Oregon, basketball-wise, and so, and you can go down the list of all our players, just okay careers, but not what they wanted to be, not what they could have done. And so it's a pretty fun group of girls that are like the underdogs of just coming together and being like, we're going to show the world who we are, including Mark. And it's, that underdog mentality of count us last. We got ranked number 9 in preseason. And so we're like, yes, we're all laughing about it and good, put us lower. Yeah. We love it. And so it's motivation for us. And we're just excited, man. It's going to be a fun team, a lot of smiles on the court, like I said, but we're going to be hard to beat.
Yeah, well, we're definitely looking forward to the season. Really looking forward to seeing you actually getting out there on the court and seeing you play. But when we come back, we've still got a lot of time left here with Sedona Prince, so stick here on 88.7 The Choice. You're listening to Riff Ram Review. Welcome back, everybody, to Riff Ram Review here on KTCU, The Choice, your choice for college radio. I'm Ian Napetien, and tonight I'm here alongside Zion Trammell, Seth Dowdle, and the wonderful Sedona Prince. Sedona, again, thank you so much for being here. For those, if you guys are just joining, we are here tonight with a special episode with Sedona Prince. She's been kind enough to give us some time here this Wednesday evening to talk to us about the upcoming TCU women's basketball season. So, again, thank you so much for being here. Yeah. Now kind of shifting gears a little bit, I want to go back and talk about your time up in Oregon, specifically 2021, picturing the NCAA tournament. That's probably one of the biggest turning points, maybe that the public has seen in terms of you. What was that whole experience during that tournament? I mean, you really brought to light the disparities between the men's and women's tournaments. Talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, we get to the tournament, this weight room and stuff, and everybody saw this video, but doesn't really know like the backstory behind it. I wasn't going to post it at first, and I made 2 videos, one before practice, one after. And the one I made before practice, I was angry and just like, just upset at the situation like everyone else was. And I sat on it. I was like, I'm going to put my phone away. Made a second video right when we were leaving practice, and like actually at the end of that video that I made, I was kind of being rushed out. My coaches were like, let's go. But yeah, I just ended up throwing it up. I was like, forget it. Like hopefully it'll just get some attention, catch some people's eyes. And it was doing mediocre on TikTok, decided to put it up on Twitter, went to sleep, woke up the next morning, and it had over 100,000 retweets. Stephen Curry had quote tweeted it. Like MSNBC reached out, BBC radio, and I was like, oh boy, like I did something kind of crazy. I was like, uh-oh. But yeah, from there, I was like, just the attention that it received, I was like, wow, like people actually care about women's sports. Like that was the first time that I think a lot of us within our, sports and stuff and within our teams, we realized like, oh wow, like we have voices, people care, and that they couldn't get away with it anymore with treating us less than. So it was a really cool experience for me. It wasn't about me. I got to make a video and hopefully shed light into something that was going on for a long time and has been an issue in women's sports for forever. But it was just cool that I got to, my platform got to be used and utilized to do that. And so it was a blast. Yeah.
So what was that kind of switch from that experience of the day before the video, the day of, and then the day after? What was that like?
Yeah. So it's also my first tournament ever to play, like ever NCAA tournament. It was my first year of college basketball. And so for me, like nobody had really noticed me throughout the season. I had a pretty big TikTok following, about 500,000 followers before I made that video. But, before that, I was excited, nervous about the tournament, of course, and then video gets posted. Next day, all of a sudden, all eyes are on our team. All eyes are on me, how I'm going to do. Now I'm like, okay, now I got to back it up. And so we went into a game against, I don't know, I think it was North Dakota State or one of the teams, a mid-major team. And remember like before the game, I was talking to my trainers and my coach, and I was like, I'm going to throw up. I'm nervous. I kept running back and forth between warm-ups to like go to the bathroom. And I was like, I'm going to be sick. But I made it through, and then we ended up playing Georgia. I made it to Sweet 16. But that was a lot of pressure on me, not just from like, my first tournament being played, but just like, thousands and thousands of people watching me. It was crazy.
Yeah. So you mentioned Steph Curry like quote tweeted you, and did any other athletes or anyone like reach out to you after that and offer any advice or support or whatnot?
Yeah, tons. I mean, I became close with Megan Rapinoe and a lot of like her circle, Sue Bird, Diana Taurasi, and I'm lucky to have the same agent as a lot of these players, Brittany Griner, as well. And so a lot of these like professional athletes reached out and they're like, hey, so proud of you. This is awesome that a college kid can use their voice like this. And that was just like inspiring enough for me to be like, wow, like I am making not only a change in college sports but also professional sports and the whole the whole world of women's athletes. So it was really cool for me.
Yeah. And so now you have, I believe, 2.7 million followers on TikTok. So does that pressure still like get to you? How does that impact you now today with that social media with all that following on?
Yeah, I mean, it used to a lot. Like when I was at Oregon, it kind of just became like, it's very hard to separate yourself from that, right? And like, especially your athletics. And so it was a long journey for me to be like, who am I as a human being, Sedona Prince, as an athlete, Sedona Prince, and then also as a TikToker or as, a social media persona. And so that was a challenge and a journey. I've learned a lot from it. But yeah, the pressure gets to me. I'm a little bit nervous still for the season and just want to show out, and a lot of people are going to be watching, and I'm nervous, to go play in away games and hear the student sections, and they're always the craziest at ASU and all these different schools, but I'm excited, so it'll be fun.
Yeah. What is some of your favorite content to put out on TikTok? Like what are your favorite kind of videos to make?
Oh man, I love just like showing the life of a student athlete. I feel like there's a big divide between fans and college athletes. They don't really get to see the day to day. So that's what I kind of fell in love with, is just bringing fans along the journey. And so I just posted, like a TCU gear haul that went pretty viral. A lot of like students on campus saw it and stuff. But yeah, just like bringing like people along and saying this is what it's like at the season, throughout postseason, the ups and downs, what to eat and all this stuff, and how to take care of your body that a lot of fans don't get to see.
Yeah, it definitely gives you a more personal look at these student athletes, and I think that's a cool thing about social media is you get that opportunity to see that. But yeah, I saw that haul was crazy. Y'all got a lot of stuff. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, it is pretty cool. We get a lot of stuff, more stuff here than we do at Oregon, more gear.
Interesting.
Yeah, but we get like more shoes, more player shoes, player edition Jordans at Oregon, but way more gear here, which I did not expect.
Yeah. Okay, so what's your favorite shoe though? Like what was your go-to shoe?
Go-to shoe right now, I've got the Sabrinas. They're pretty good, pretty comfy, but I'm going with LeBrons. The new ones you just dropped are insane. They're so comfy. They're just nice. The icy white ones, they're insane.
Yeah.
Shoes are not my specialty. This is all going over my head right now. I wear regular just running shoes, and then
Hey,
my mom's like, "Good job, you did it. You dressed yourself." Going kind of back to talking about the NCAA and stuff like that, what kind of strides and improvements do you think that you've seen the NCAA make in women's sports right now?
Oh man, equality, which is something that is crazy that we still have to fight for, but now it's the thing of like they can't get away with it. Like I said, the NCAA and other organizations know that if they don't give us what's equal to our counterparts, then we're going to call them out and we're going to get a lot of attention. And I think that was the first time in any kind of like social media setting where we saw that, where it was like, we're not just complaining about it, but people are complaining with us and pushing back against it. And so hopefully in the future, like, if any of these inequalities come up or we face anything like this, that it won't be allowed anymore.
And there's a lot of things that maybe fans would want to see to, where the NCAA could continue to make strides. But as a player, where do you feel that, look, there are still disparities in X, Y, and Z. Where do you want to see the next kind of movement go into?
Yeah, I mean, we're seeing a lot of more attention towards women's basketball because people want to watch it because it's so entertaining. But for me, it's just like more coverage, right? Like I still get texts from my family, friends of like, hey, what link can we watch your games at? And they have to sign up on their emails and a new email every week to get that 7-day free trial. And it's like, why is this still a thing? Why can't we just have coverage for all of our games? Because people want to watch, like the people want to see us play, and the need is there. But just having these big news outlets like ESPN or all these different companies just cover it because the need is there now.
Yeah. So you mentioned the need is there. What did you make of last year with Iowa and Caitlin Clark and that championship game against LSU? Because a lot of people tuned into that. So what was that like for you watching it?
Yeah, that was awesome. On Twitter, going afterwards and seeing all the memes and just people just love it. It's the stories around it of they've been playing all year and having this rivalry, and then now they're in the national championship with the best player in the country undoubtedly versus powerhouse LSU with Kim Mulkey. And so that was so awesome. Just the storyline of it all is what people love to see in women's sports of who we're watching, not just on court, but also who are these kids, what are their backstories, where have they been, who are these people. And so that was awesome. It was really cool. It was fun for me to watch.
Yeah. All right, Seth.
It's time to pivot to our final segment.
Yeah, we got some rapid fire here.
It's Seth's rapid fire corner. All righty. I have 10 or so rapid fire questions. They are not rapid for me. I can take however long I want to ask these questions. Rapid for you.
Okay.
So just answer them the first thing that comes to your head. All right. Favorite superhero?
Spider-Man.
Valid.
Favorite sport other than basketball?
Swimming.
Rank your top 5 favorite restaurants.
Ooh, 5? That's a rapid fire question. Come on.
Yeah.
That might take some time.
Yeah. Okay. We'll go BJ's, Subway. I'm just thinking of restaurants now. Help me out here. What do we got? Cane's.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
good.
Raising
Chick-fil-A.
Chick-fil-A. Last one is I would say Ken's. Chipotle. Whataburger. Whataburger. It's
All
keep it
right.
home in Texas. Yeah.
There you go.
All right.
If you were stuck in the woods for approximately 10 to 15 hours with no communication with the outside world, how would you survive?
I would find shelter, hunker down, be safe, know my surroundings, find some water and food, and make sure that I have all my supplies ready for nighttime.
Okay. Have you ever been to Sedona, Arizona?
I have. My parents got married there.
Did you? Oh.
Is that why?
That is why the name. We did met in San Diego. So my brother's name is
Diego.
Diego.
That's
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. That's
Yeah.
that's
Get that.
Yeah.
Have you been to the Blue McDonald's?
I have been to Blue McDonald's. Yeah, we went
Okay.
twice in one day.
No
Yes.
way.
I was so excited to ask this question. They know. I was so excited to ask about the Blue McDonald's.
We actually went. I went on a road trip from Oregon to Texas, and I went. Yeah,
Let's
I stopped
go.
There. Yeah, I
Let's
stopped.
go. All right. Favorite planet
Favorite planet?
other than Earth?
Saturn.
Favorite artist? It could be musical. It could be painting. It could be. it could be whatever.
We're going musical with Tame Impala.
All right.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
That's good.
Groovy vibes.
Yeah.
What is your most meaningful tattoo?
Oof. Probably all the ones I did on my legs myself. People love those, but I have one that's like a rose, and it just means a lot to my family.
Okay. What's your next tattoo, you think?
Oof. I'm getting left arm sleeved out, hopefully over the big scar that I have on my elbow.
All right. Final question. Who wins in a race? Bevo, the duck, or Super Frog?
I feel like Bevo would just try to kill the other mascots first. I mean, I want to go Super Frog, but he's are we talking about like Horn Frog, like the little one, or?
It could be
Our
no,
actual
the
mascot.
The mascot super.
Okay, not a Horn Frog, yeah, but I say there's
not the little tiny lizard.
a while. I'm going Super Frog, man. Come on, go Frogs.
Yeah.
Awesome. That's what we like to hear. Thank you so much for joining
Yeah, I
us
think
here in the
Super
Rapid Fire
Frog
Corner.
would lose the push-up battle with the duck.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, he's insane. He does like like he's nuts. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, there's a video from maybe it was like 2 weekends ago of Oregon being on ESPN Game Day of the Duck doing some
Yeah.
questionable stuff on that little stage.
Yeah, I see him lose his head on for the Deion Sanders bit. Yeah, instant karma.
Yeah, exactly.
Super Frog does some wild stuff too, though. I think you'll learn.
Yeah.
Like I mean, at football games, he's just a crazy dude.
Yeah.
He is. And there's also like a smaller Super Frog. Who's actually not affiliated with TCU. It's like a little kid that dresses up in a Super Frog outfit, looks like the exact same, just a kid size, but everyone thinks he's related to TCU, but he's not. So he sometimes gets on the field, sometimes he's in the student section. You're just like, man, this little guy's everywhere.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
But yeah, so Sedona, thank you so much for joining us tonight. We really appreciate having you on. Tell our listeners where they can reach you on social media platforms, just briefly.
Yeah, just Sedona __ on Instagram, Sedona on TikTok with 3 R's. Just look up Sedona Prince and you'll find me.
Awesome. And then you're trying to put together a little production of your own. Talk to us about that with doing some stuff with some students on campus.
Yeah, I'd love to build a team of students. Just want to help each other out. TCU has so many great, smart kids that are going places. And so getting some videographers that are going to work and just try to get as much coverage for our team as possible throughout the season, throughout our journeys, kind of make like a mini documentary series about this season because it's going to be really special.
Yeah. Well, Sedona, thank you so much for joining us. We'd love to have you on sometime in the future. And seriously, all the best for this season. It starts on November 6th. That is next Monday when the TCU women's basketball team takes on Oral Roberts in Game 1 of the 2023-2024 season. So be sure to tune in there on ESPN+. But for Seth Dowdle, Zion Trammell, Sedona Prince, and myself, Ian Napetien, thank you so much for tuning in to this special edition of Riff Ram Review here with Sedona Prince.